Three years ago, members of WGLH TV rescued a one-room schoolhouse from demolition. Hi, I'm Elijah Sweet.
I'm Jessica Jones.
And I'm Dara Morales, and we would like to welcome you to this week's edition of WGLH TV.
The one-room schoolhouse was built in 1869 and is located on Johnstown Road in front of the Gahanna YMCA.
In 1927, it was converted into a garage, and it stayed that way for about 75 years. Soon enough, it was abandoned for about 15 years, and it was slated for demolition by the city about 3 years ago.
The WGLH TV members did their research and found it to be one of the oldest buildings right here in Gahanna.
It was scheduled for demolition, but the city gave us 1 year to raise money. In 1 year, we raised $80,000 needed to restore and relocate the building.
It is now used with elementary school students who take a field trip and see what it was like to go to school in the 1800s.
Jonathan Mays takes us on a tour and shows us what's going on there today.
Gahanna's one-room schoolhouse just recently reopened its doors for students throughout Gahanna to come and visit for the 2015-2016 school year. This school year marks the third for the schoolhouse after being fully refurbished back in 2013.
And we had to raise about $80,000. Once we even got close, once we got half, we had enough that we could take it apart and move it onto school property. And so we did that, continued the fundraising, and then once we had the full funds that we needed, we went ahead and had it restored. And a lot of the contractors, even that we had to pay to do it, gave us really reduced fees, or we wouldn't have been able to do the project at all.
Today, the one-room schoolhouse is a living museum showing students what it was like to go to school back in the 1800s. Along with their visit, students also get to experience lessons that would have been taught in a one-room schoolhouse, such as mathematics, penmanship, reading, and public speaking. Dan Schrone, who attended a one-room schoolhouse for 2 years, explains how effective the process of learning in a one-room schoolhouse was.
The older students had learned their lessons well, and she used the best of those older students to mentor and tutor us younger students. Also, those of us who were young, who finished our lessons early, we could listen into the older children's lessons, so we could learn history and geography well beyond age groups early.
For students visiting the schoolhouse, just experiencing it was their most favorite part of the trip.
I'm excited about learning new things from the olden days. Reading.
I was really looking forward to how much states there were, what they played with outside, and see if they had any recess equipment.
As our technological society advances at such a rapid pace, it is very important to step back and take a look at where we came from. Luckily for students in the Gahanna Jefferson School District, our one-room schoolhouse provides just that. Reporting for WGLH TV, this has been Jonathan Mays.
The architecture program at Clark Hall had some students who helped redesign the one-room schoolhouse. Alex Metz takes a look at what these students were designing.
The advanced architecture class takes place in C114 at Clark Hall. In this class, students learn important skills about building and creating buildings. Students learn how to design and build floor plans so they can plan what their building should look like. Also, this lets them get a layout of what their building will look like from the ground. The next step is to build a cardboard model. That way they get a 3D idea of what the building will look like. Students use various tools to help them create these models. Students work at their own pace, and it is a very relaxed work environment, and ask for help when they need it. Juniors are working on a project for themselves, while seniors have a project for an actual client.
You could.
I usually just leave it there because it kind of holds the wall together, makes it look stronger.
This class is very enjoyable, and every student loves it. Students in this class plan to further their career and eventually go into architecture in college. This class is a great first step program for it.
This class is a lot of fun. It's very hands-on. It's not your typical sit down in the classroom, just do textbook work. We get to do a lot of building models, and right now as a senior we're building a chapel for an actual client. We're designing the whole thing by ourselves. We are coming up with the materials, the pricing. We have a budget of $10,000. And
This has been Alex Metz reporting for WGLH TV.
Another class that is out of this world is Space Technology class. It was started over 15 years ago by Fred Donaldson.
It is now taken over by Tyler Burns. Rachel Shannon talks to some of the students as why they chose to take this class.
Here's a 7. I mean, I would.
A class offered at our high school is Space Technologies. Juniors and seniors mainly take it, but some sophomores are allowed. In one of the units, students create and program a robot to follow programmed instructions to make it through an obstacle course. A lot of pieces and parts are needed to make these robots. The 3 obstacle courses include 3 different levels of difficulty and make different patterns and have different obstacles. After many trials and errors, some students successfully get their robots through an obstacle course.
Project Vesta is a simulated NASA mission where teams will develop a rover to explore the Vesta surface. They will develop a lander to get the rover onto the surface, upright and intact, and then they have a PR team that will try and sell their specific mission and their rover and their lander to NASA so that they can actually be the ones who go on the mission.
Students may choose to bring in their own laptop to help them with assignments, or they can borrow one from the school.
I'm not saying
Another project that Space Tech works on is a project where they try to get their robots to kick different cans in a chorus. The students create their robots by using Lego pieces. The students with the most creative looking robot will receive extra credit.
Oh, it went under here?
My favorite project was probably the beginning of the year, the rocketry unit, so it was fun. First few weeks of school, we went behind the school and started firing off rockets. So that was a lot of fun.
Due to the multiple group projects in this class, teamwork is essential to be successful. As you can see, Space Tech students are hard at work making robots using their computers. This has been Rachel Shannon reporting for WGLH TV.
Tanner Harding has used his special skills to help out the organization Kick It. For every field goal Tanner makes, money will be donated to help pancreatic cancer. Colton Bolsaw explains.
This year, the football team has had a lot of success against their opponents. All of the football players are playing to beat their opponent. But one player wants to go beyond beating their opponent and beating pancreatic cancer. Kicker Tanner Harding has a fund called Kick It, that every time he makes a field goal, money is donated to research for pancreatic cancer.
Oh, yeah! Oh! Right hash!
My grandfather passed away 4 years ago of pancreatic cancer. So I'm doing my Kick It Fund in honor of him. He's raising money, helping cancer research, and this year I've raised a little bit under $2,000. So I'm hoping to reach $5,000 by December. Last year I raised $3,000, so I'm trying to up that a little bit.
Tanner's worked really hard in the offseason to make sure he makes his field goals.
Improve my field goals, accuracy, and everything. I've gone to a lot of camps. Just about every other week was a camp. In-state, out-of-state. I traveled to Buffalo, New York a lot. My kicking coach lives there in Buffalo, so traveled up there a couple times. He came down here, I think once or twice, so got some work in, a lot of practice.
The field goal team has worked very hard to protect Tanner so he can make these field goals this season.
Good. Hands team, hands team!
Companies who sponsor the Kick It Fund have been very generous in their donations this year. Tanner hopes that this Kick It Fund will inspire others to do many great things for people in need. Tanner's worked really hard this year to reach his goal of $5,000 for research on pancreatic cancer. This has been Colton Bosaw reporting for WGLH TV.
In the past 10 years, classrooms have undergone a huge change. What seems to be driving many of these changes is the advancement in technology. Many students will have jobs in the future that deal with technology, so they must learn about it in the classroom.
Annie Alhimovich shows us how technology has helped the classroom today.
Within the average classroom, students can be found on their phone, on a computer, or listening to their teacher give today's lesson on a smartboard. Technology has become very important in the classrooms.
In normal classes where you start the day off with pencil and paper, Mr. Kitzmiller's class is quite the opposite. His students get out instead a laptop. Mr. Kitzmiller recently transferred to Google Classrooms where he can give assignments online and the students can submit them also online.
So you can research that and you can find some other people that are associated with this particular movement.
Google Classroom is a great opportunity for teachers to cut back on paper. I talked to Mr. Kitzmiller to see why he decided to switch to Google Classrooms.
In the past, I had used Google Sites and created different pages, different links, and organized information as such, and it was very beneficial for the students. However, it was always a challenge to create something that was very navigable and that students could find information easily and access the information easily. Classroom creates an environment that is based upon the principles of social media and using a constant stream and feed, which most people are very comfortable using.
The teachers like it at all, but what about the students?
Google Classroom, it's really, like, everything's right in front of you. Like, it's really easy to find what you need to work on. Everything is, like, in sections, so you can just find what you need to work on easily.
Don't be surprised if your next assignment might be coming from your phone or a laptop. Until then, this has been Annie Alhimovich reporting for WGLH TV.
The art teachers have worked hard this summer to try and update their curriculum. One of the newest classes here at GLHS is jewelry making. Lindsay Stamus takes a closer look.
Gahanna Lincoln High School has a variety of art classes to offer. One of these classes is jewelry making. In this class, students have the opportunity to create many different types of jewelry, but also develop new skills such as bead weaving and clay bead making to create their own unique pieces.
Are you senior? You're a senior, right?
Yeah. Many students take this class to express their creativity in the jewelry that they make.
Okay, I took this class because I needed something where I could let out my creativity, and my favorite part about this class is that I can express myself through my jewelry.
In this double block 2-hour class, students have time to sit and work on whatever the project is for the new skill they have learned. They take their final products home or leave them in the classroom for examples for other classes to see later in the school year. I talked to Miss Scott on why she enjoys teaching this class.
I wanted to teach a jewelry class because as a young person I made all kinds of macrame and bead jewelry. I just thought it was really fun. I really am into adornment. I think it really lightens up your outfit, whatever it is, and I love the process of weaving.
Miss Scott is there to help direct all of her students on their projects and also teach them the skills of jewelry making. Students take this advice and make their own jewelry.
If you want a fun, independent class to show off your creativity, join jewelry making today. This has been Lindsay Stamus reporting from WGLH TV.
Every year, Creepside has attracted more and more people. Lindsay Stahl was there, and here's what she brought back.
Creepside is one of the biggest community events held in Gahanna. There are many things to do at Creepside. One would be going around in your costume asking for candy. Creepside has many fun activities for kids, ranging from pumpkin carving to bounce houses to video games. Setting up a booth here is a great way for businesses to get their name out. Another popular attraction here is the Haunted Maze. The Haunted Maze is put on by performance studio students here at the high school.
The girl who was doing all of the murders. She brutally slashed 4 campers in the dining hall.
I'm not important. See about that. Oh, by the way, that was the little girl who committed all the murders in the 70s. I got the opportunity to talk to Grace English, a member of the the script for Creepside was really watching our whole class come together, and it was such a weird thing for us to do because usually we're not making scary pieces of work, so it was really different but also fun at the same time. I also got the opportunity to talk to Mylan Jackson, who was an extra, a part of the maze.
It was real cool, actually. Like, it was something I had never really gotten into before this year, but I'm really glad I did, and it was a real fun experience. Actions we got were from, like, small children, which is kind of terrible, actually, but, like, with their parents, like, screaming and crying, I was like, dang, this is bad, but it really wasn't because it was hilarious. And I almost broke character a few times because of that, but, you know, I kept my composure. It was real fun.
Not only does Performance Studio from the high school help out, but also other clubs. There is a lot of hard work put behind the decorations around the community. One of the hardest parts about being at Creepside is moving around. There were a ton of people there. Another really cool attraction that got people into the holiday spirit was a giant mechanical spider. No wonder Creepside is a wonderful tradition in Gahanna. There's so many fun things for kids to do. As you can see, Creepside is a very fun way for the community to get excited about Halloween. This has been Lindsay Stahl reporting for WGLH TV.
And here's another story a WGLH member brought back.
The Gahanna Parks and Recreation Foundation is a nonprofit organization of volunteers who are committed to raising additional funds to support the Gahanna community and the Parks and Rec Department. The money raised by the foundation is used to support many community events each year beyond the city's financial resources. The foundation supports the Gahanna community and its residents through many different areas, like giving summer camp scholarships to Gahanna children, assisting and offering additional recreation opportunities with the Creekside Live concert series, and giving over $20,000 to community art projects, including the historical mural on Mill Street and 5 unique art installations in the Creekside district. The Creekside Live Concert Series is a community recreation program that the foundation has helped to provide the past couple years in partnerships with assistance from local businesses and the Parks and Recreation Department.
Well, we see a lot of people that come in here from out of town, from different communities all over. They come and enjoy the beautiful scenery we have down here, the live entertainment, just to get out and enjoy the nice weather. I mean, even though this year's weather wasn't the best, we still had a lot of people come down for all the concerts, and they really enjoyed coming to town, and we like them coming and seeing our town.
Among the many art projects in the Creekside district, you can find several art pieces produced by Steve Bush, an area resident.
Most of all, they made it available. When Creekside was created, they made artwork a part of the process and the dream of what Creekside would be. And so there was a thought about it from the beginning concept of this to begin with. Then more and more people were excited about that and excited about the details, the beauty, the final result. And there was monies left over to be able to do so. So first off, they outreach to the community to say, look at art. Number 2, they give an opportunity to artists to submit things and to make it happen, you know, actually from design to actual 3D sculpture, which will be here for generations.
Another art project provided through the foundation is the historical mural on the side of Signature's Mill Street Tavern.
Yeah, it's not just a wonderful piece of art that's in the community, but each one of those images, some are from the mid-1800s, some are in the mid-1900s, are important icons or landmarks or people. And as they walk by, it's a great conversation starter. And the locals and those of us that live around here love it. It always strikes up a conversation, and it makes sure that even as we're in the middle of this street with great development, new buildings, new businesses, we do remember the old ones and the ones that were here a long time ago and not so long ago.
The Gahanna Parks and Recreation Foundation, since its beginning in 2008, has provided over 200 camper scholarships to the Parks and Recreation Department's summer camp programs.
So camps are important for kids of themselves because they gain a ton of skill sets while they're at camp, from the socialization of making friends. They deal with conflict resolution, leadership skills, and just what happens when they try a new skill, and it gives them a safe environment to fail. For lack of better words, not that we want them to fail, but if they don't catch a fish on their first try, they're surrounded by people who can support them in that experience. As far as the community, it gives kids a place to go. Instead of during the summertime where there's kind of like hanging out doing nothing, it gets them outside, it gets them active. We bring in different community involvement so they get to know the things available in their community. We utilize other parks in the community, we utilize the pool. So it just kind of brings us all together and gives kids, opens their eyes to what the community has to offer.
Oh, just come to me.
The Gahanna Parks and Recreation Foundation is a crucial part of our community because it helps support several projects just like this historical art mural behind me. For WGLH TV, this has been Michael Cromer. One club that has had a big impact on the community is S Club. Danny Kosick takes us there and shows us what the members have been up to.
S Club is a club centered all around service to women and children. They do everything from donating cans and shoes to helping at child care centers. But not only do they volunteer to help the needy, they help each other by talking about healthy friendships and safe relationships. I don't know about you, but this sounds like a club that I would love to be a part of.
S Club is all about service to others and service to yourself. It's an all-girls club that focuses on the wellness of women and children. They do many great service projects to help the community, including canned food drives, donating gently used shoes, and volunteering at child care centers. This club always has some type of service project coming up. But it's not just service projects that keep them busy. They have meetings every Wednesday in the annex where they talk about not only the upcoming service projects, but the problems that affect young girls like themselves. I talked to Dara Morales about why she joined S Club.
I was in 8th grade. S Club came to my school, and they, taught us about how girls should respect themselves and how to always be confident and to love one another. And I really was touched by that. And I think that those girls right now are doing they're doing the best they can. And I think the world should really appreciate what they're doing.
Problems like safe dating and how girls should be treated by a boyfriend. But not only how they should be treated by boyfriends, but their friends as well. Girls can be very mean to other girls, and S Club teaches its members that they should not associate with those kinds of people. They also discuss self-confidence and self-love. S Club wants all women to be respected by others, but most importantly, teaches women to respect themselves. This has been Danny Kosick for WGLH TV.
Now that marching band has ended, the band members get ready for concert band. This year, they have had to add a third band. Kennedy Lake explains.
Just last Sunday, sophomore, junior, and senior band members had auditions for gold, silver, and blue band. Now that they are transitioning from marching season into concert season, it's time to get prepared and start practicing more. For the first time in the Gahanna Bands program, there are 3 concert bands. Unlike the past concert band season, band has only been divided up into gold and blue. With a whopping 205 students in the program, band had to be divided up into 3 bands: gold, silver, and blue, gold being the highest. Although marching band isn't completely over yet, there are still playoff games that happen on Saturday nights instead of Friday night games. Marching band rehearsals for those games only happen once a week, whenever the weather is best. David Foley, a first-chair tuba player, tells us about his adjustment in the marching band off-season.
So this year in marching band, I think we did really well. We did, I think, about 5 shows, and it was really tough most of the time, but we always pulled through somehow. And this concert season has actually been going very well as well, because we actually have a new band this year, Silver Band, which I'm a part of, and I'm actually a first-chair tuba. And it's really interesting the kind of sound we have, and it's completely unique from both the gold band and blue band, and I'm sure it'll be successful for years to come.
Most students are excited about the transition from marching band to concert band. Mostly, they are excited to make history as they have their first ever silver band. So go out and support your Gahanna Lincoln High School bands as they make history. For WGLH TV, this has been Kennedy Lake.
a number of teachers must balance a coaching schedule. Riya Gupta has more.
There are many teachers here at GLHS who are also coaches. Mr. Stive is our boys varsity basketball coach and also teaches U.S. history.
Being a head coach and teaching, you really got to manage your time. Probably the biggest thing for me is I come in a lot of times on Sunday evenings. So I'll come in on Sunday nights, maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night and stay here as long as I can to get papers graded, to get lesson plans ready for the next week. So also anytime I can get some help, I usually try to get former students of mine in class that have some extra time to help me, whether it's grade papers or copy papers.
Good, high hand, get a high hand, back help side, let's go. Good, stay down and stay.
Coach Schwinnen is our girls varsity tennis coach and also teaches history and psychology.
I think one of the things about managing my time as being a teacher and coach is a lot of times, before practice, one of the things that we do with the tennis program is the captains start the practices, and so that gives me a little extra time at the end of the school day to meet with my assistant coach, or if I have to run some extra copies or get ready for the day. And a lot of evenings after matches and after practices, I do end up staying and coming in after school for a half hour or so and just making sure that I'm ready for the next day. It definitely is time consuming, and I definitely have more time when not coaching tennis, but just extra time here and there, either sometimes maybe before school. For me, a lot of times it's after school or after practices. I'll run in and get some things done, but it's what you got to do. I'm a teacher first and coach second, so I've got to make sure my teaching job is ready for the next day before I can coach.
Those are just two of the many teachers here at GLHS who have a passion for coaching and teaching as well, which makes for a very busy lifestyle but a rewarding one. This has been Riya Gupta reporting for WGLH TV.
One student here who seems to have to juggle a lot of activities is Chase Rowe. Colin Strait introduces us to Chase, who's this week's Student Spotlight.
Current junior, Chase Rowe, is a very intelligent and hardworking student here at GLHS. Chase has lived in Gahanna all of his life and went to Gahanna Middle School East. School is very important to Chase, and he dedicates a lot of his time towards academics. A leader in the classroom, Chase is a 3.9 GPA student and takes time to help anyone that needs it. He is a great person to be around, and many people think highly of him.
Chase is a good guy. He's a good student, gets his work done. He participates in athletics. His work ethic in that is just as good as his work ethic in school.
Current personal finance teacher here at GLHS, Mr. Holing, tells us a little bit about Chase as a person and student.
All right, Chase is a great kid, great young gentleman, nice, polite kid, comes to class every day, fun to have in class, does his work, goes above and beyond while doing his work.
Not only is Chase a leader in the classroom, but also on the basketball court. Chase tells us a little bit about how time management is important.
After school, I go straight to basketball practice, and then I come home, make sure all my homework's done, study a lot, and then get a good night's rest for the next day.
Last year, Chase played on the JV basketball team. Now, he made the varsity basketball team and hopes to do very well. This is a very hard task to do, and all of Chase's hard work has paid off. Chase hopes to get his first letter as a junior this year and is very excited for the season. Current junior, Chase Rowe is a very good leader, not only in the basketball court, but also in the classroom. Until next time, this has been Colin Strait reporting for WGLH TV.
Chase is not the only person with a hectic schedule. Our athletes have to deal with many things at one time.
Speaking of athletes, do you have a sports report for us, Dara?
I sure do. Boys varsity soccer and girls varsity volleyball won the district championship. Football plays St. Xavier Saturday night at 7, and boys soccer plays Dublin Jerome at Westerville Central on Wednesday. And that's a wrap for sports here at Gahanna.
Thanks, Dara. We would like to thank you for tuning in this week. Next week, Michael Cromer interviews the new athletic director. But for now, this has been Elijah Sweet,
Jessica Jones,
and Dara Morales saying, we're not in this to test the waters. We're in this to make the waves.
Have a great week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.